The Wife's Secret Diary. Emma sighed as she dusted the old wooden box on the top shelf of her closet. It was Saturday morning, and she had decided to finally clean the bedroom after putting it off for weeks. Her husband Mark was at work, and the house was quiet except for the soft music playing from her phone. As she lifted the box, something fell from behind it, a small leather-bound book with a golden lock. Emma picked it up curiously. She had never seen this diary before. The lock was old and fragile, and when she touched it, it broke open. Maybe it's from my school days, she thought, but when she opened the first page, her heart stopped. The handwriting was not hers. It was her husband Mark's. June 5th, the first entry began. Today I met the most amazing woman at the coffee shop. Her name is Sarah, and she has the most beautiful smile I've ever seen. Emma's hands trembled as she turned the pages. The diary was filled with entries about another woman. Mark wrote about their secret meetings, their conversations, and his growing feelings for her. The dates showed that this had been going on for over 6 months. Tears filled Emma's eyes. How could Mark do this? They had been married for 10 years and had 2 children. She thought they were happy. She felt like her world was collapsing. For the next hour, Emma read the diary from cover to cover. Each entry was like a knife in her heart. Mark wrote about how he felt alive when he was with Sarah, how she understood him in ways Emma never did. He even wrote about planning to leave Emma but being afraid to hurt her and the children. Emma was devastated. She didn't know what to do. Should she confront Mark? Should she pretend she never found the diary? She decided to hide the diary in her own secret place and think about it carefully. When Mark came home that evening, he acted completely normal. He kissed Emma hello, played with the children, and helped set the table for dinner. Emma watched him closely, looking for signs that he was hiding something, but he seemed like the same loving husband she had known for years. This continued for several days. Emma became quiet and distant. She couldn't eat properly and had trouble sleeping. Mark noticed the change and asked if she was feeling unwell. Just tired, Emma would say, forcing a smile. One evening, while Mark was putting the children to bed, Emma took out the diary again. She read one particular entry that made her pause. Mark had written about a special necklace he bought for Sarah, a silver necklace with a small heart pendant. Emma remembered that about 3 months ago, Mark had given her exactly the same necklace for her birthday. She had been so happy when she received it. Now the memory made her feel sick. The next day, Emma decided to follow Mark after work. She told him she was visiting a friend and would be back late. Instead, she waited near his office building in her car. At 5:30 p.m., Mark left the building. Instead of heading home, he went to a small park nearby. Emma's heart raced as she saw him meet a woman with brown hair. They hugged, and then sat on a bench talking. Emma felt tears in her eyes again. It was true. Her husband was having an affair. She was about to drive away when she noticed something strange. The woman handed Mark an envelope, and he gave her what looked like money. Then they hugged again, and the woman left. Confused, Emma decided to wait. Mark stayed on the bench for a few minutes, looking at the envelope. Then he took out his phone and made a call. He looked stressed and unhappy, not like someone who had just met his lover. That evening, Emma couldn't hold it in anymore. When the children were asleep, she confronted Mark in the living room. "I know about Sarah," she said, her voice shaking. Mark's face turned pale. "What? How?" "I found your diary," Emma said, trying not to cry. "I know everything. For a moment, Mark looked shocked. Then he sighed deeply and sat down. Emma, I can explain. Explain what? How you've been lying to me for months. How you've been seeing another woman. Emma's voice broke. No, it's not what you think, Mark said. Sarah isn't my lover. She's my sister. Emma stared at him in disbelief. What? But you've never mentioned having a sister. I know, Mark said sadly. It's a long story. Sarah is my half-sister from my father's first marriage. My parents divorced when I was young, and Sarah lived with her mother. We lost contact for many years. He explained that he had met Sarah by chance at the coffee shop 6 months ago. They started meeting secretly because Mark was helping her financially. Sarah had been struggling with debt after losing her job, and she was too proud to ask for help openly. I didn't tell you because I knew you would worry about money, Mark said. And Sarah didn't want anyone to know about her situation. The diary was my way of dealing with the stress of keeping this secret and managing our finances. Emma was speechless. But the necklace, you wrote about buying Sarah a necklace. Mark looked confused for a moment, then understanding dawned on his face. The necklace I wrote about was for Sarah's daughter, my niece. It was for her birthday. The one I gave you was different, I bought yours from a different store. He went to their bedroom and returned with a photo. This is Sarah and her daughter. I took this picture last month. Emma looked at the photo. The woman was indeed the same person she had seen in the park. Next to her was a young girl wearing a silver necklace with a heart pendant. I'm so sorry, Emma, Mark said. I should have told you the truth. I was trying to protect both you and Sarah, but I ended up hurting you more. Emma felt a mix of emotions, relief, confusion, and still some hurt. Why did you write those things in the diary? You said Sarah understood you in ways I never did. Mark took her hands. I was wrong to write that. I was feeling stressed about work and money, and when I reconnected with Sarah, it brought back childhood memories. But nobody understands me better than you. I love you, Emma. You and our children are my whole world. They talked for hours that night. Mark promised to be more open with Emma about everything. He also agreed to introduce Emma to Sarah properly. The next weekend, they invited Sarah and her daughter for dinner. Emma and Sarah got along well, and the children played happily together. As Emma watched her family, now including her new sister-in-law and niece, she realized that sometimes secrets aren't what they seem. Later that evening, after their guests had left, Emma took the secret diary and placed it in the fireplace. She watched as the pages turned to ash, taking all the misunderstandings and pain with them. Mark came up behind her and wrapped his arms around her. No more secrets, he whispered. Emma smiled and leaned into his embrace. No more secrets, she agreed. And for the first time in weeks, she felt truly at peace.